So, you're thinking about picking up the DJI Mic to add to your gear. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain to you why I think you should strongly consider buying this mic instead. This is the Hollyland Lark Max, and it's an excellent wireless microphone system that shares quite a few features with the DJI Mic, but it's actually objectively better than DJI's offering in quite a few ways. I'm going to show you how good this mic sounds, compare the features of this to the DJI Mic, and finally tell you why I think the Lark Max is the better option of the two. So, let's get into it. First of all, as a disclaimer, Hollyland sent me the Lark Max to test out and review, but no money changed hands and they have no input into this video. So these are going to be my honest thoughts and opinions after testing out this microphone for the last couple of months. Before anything else, I want to show you some raw audio samples from the Lark Max so you can see how it sounds with no audio processing. I'll also compare this to my original Rode Wireless Go so that you have a point of reference to compare this against. This is a microphone test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. How does it sound to you? This is a microphone test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. How does it sound to you? This is a microphone test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. How does it sound to you? This is a microphone test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. How does it sound to you? Now I'm going to connect this microphone up to my Rode Video Mic Go 2. This setup allows me to wirelessly boom this microphone, and as you can hear hopefully, this setup sounds really good. And this has been my go-to setup for the last couple of months while using the Hollyland Lark Max. Before we get on to comparing this with the DJI Mic, let's talk about what you get in the box. You get the charging case with the receiver and 2 transmitters, a USB-C to USB-A cable, a 3.5mm TRS to TRS cable, a USB-C to USB-C cable, a USB-C to Lightning cable, 2 clip magnets to attach the transmitters to your clothing, 2 magnetic pendants that you can put around your neck as another way of attaching the transmitters to your subject, 2 furry windshields for each transmitter to help block out wind noise, and a hard shell travel case that allows you to protect and store the charging case along with all your accessories in one case. So as you can see, you get quite a lot with this mic. With that out of the way, let's talk about the features that are shared between the DJI Mic and Hollyland Lark Max. The first of the major similarities is that both
mics have dual transmitters so you can mic up 2 subjects at once.
Hey, that's what I was going to say. However, both have a big logo on each transmitter, which might put some people off using these in certain situations. But if this annoys you, you can always put some black gaffer tape or electrical tape over those logos and then you should be good to go. Both mics have 14 hours of internal recording capability with the 8GB of storage built into each transmitter. But this is only 24-bit recording rather than the 32-bit float recording that can be found in the new Rode Wireless Pro. Both microphone systems have a setting to allow you to automatically start recording as soon as you remove the transmitters from the charging case. And this is a really good safety feature if you lose connection between your transmitters and receivers for whatever reason. The transmitters from both microphones have 3.5mm jacks to allow you to plug in lavalier microphones, but they don't have a locking mechanism like the new Rode Wireless Pro does. This feature allows you to connect any microphone to the transmitter. So this effectively means that you can extend the range of any microphone that you own, such as the Rode Video Mic Go 2 that I have. This is really useful if you want to boom a microphone over a subject in a situation where that subject is quite far away from the lens, such as if you're filming an interview with an 85mm lens, but you want to get that crisp audio without having to use something like a lavalier microphone that's visible in the shot. The DJI Mic charging case and the receivers and transmitter are slightly smaller than the Hollyland Lark Maxes, but in my opinion this difference is negligible because both are really small compact systems. Both these microphones support being used with any 3.5mm USB-C or Lightning device, so you can use this with a dedicated camera, your phone, a tablet or even any computer. Both mics also have a quoted wireless range of up to 820 feet or 250 meters. But realistically, in the vast majority of cases, that's going to be way more than you need. In fact, let's do a quick range test of the Hollyland Lark Max. This is a test of the range of the Hollyland Lark Max. I'm going to walk back about 50 meters each time and see if we can still pick it up when I'm turned back round. So. It's probably 50 meters away here. Hopefully you can still hear me. This is probably about 100 meters away from the camera and hopefully it's still picking us up. About 150 meters away here, I'd say. I flew the drone over me 200 meters, so I know where that kind of point is. we're probably a bit past 200 meters here, so if it's still picking me up pretty clearly, then that's really, really good. I'm gonna keep going back a bit further. I think we probably get to just about 250 meters here. I mean, we must be about 250 meters away from the camera now. Where Jill is, she's next to the camera and she's a spec, and I am walking around really far away now. So let's see how far we can get with this Hollyland Lark Max, and I'm just going to hold it line of sight, so I'm going to keep it in, you know, view like this to the receiver the whole time, so we can see how far we can get. This isn't maybe the best scenario because there's metal fence on the right side of me. There's also electrical wires on the side of me because I'm next to a train track. So, you know, this actually might affect the performance of this. I think I'm probably about 45, 50 meters now away from the receiver. No, maybe 100 now at this point. We're about 100 here. Transmitter to the receiver, so there shouldn't be any excuse for this dropping off if it is. So after that test, we can see that we can definitely achieve a range of 250 meters and stay connected, but it has to be in a very specific scenario. So it has to be somewhere where you have clear line of sight between the receiver and your transmitter, and it also has to be in a place where you don't have a load of interference interfering with that connection. It does seem that things like metal objects or, you know, electrical wires in the vicinity can definitely affect the connection that you have on this microphone, but even with those things around, it still stays stable up to about 100 meters. So if you're going to be using this over 100 meters, I'd recommend using the internal recording and syncing up in post to make sure that you don't lose any of your audio. So while there are quite a few overlapping features between the DJI Mic and the Lark Max, there are definitely quite a few differences between these two mics as well, and this is where it really gets interesting. First of all, the Hollyland Lark Max is priced at £299 in the UK or $299 in the US, whereas the DJI Mic is £289 in the UK or $329 in the US. It's editor Aaron here, and I just wanted to give you some updates on the price of both of these microphones because it's actually gone down since I started recording this video. So the DJI Mic has actually gone down to £219 in the UK and $249 in the US. And this is a great development because it's going to make it cheaper for you and me to buy this. But this has also encouraged Hollyland to reduce the price of the Lark Max. So in the UK, you can now actually go into Amazon and get a £90 off voucher for the Hollyland Lark Max. And in addition to this, you can get 2 free lavalier mics along with this as well, which is an insane deal. So you can effectively get the Hollyland Lark Max for £210 plus 2 lavalier mics that you wouldn't have got before. And in the US, you can get the Hollyland Lark Max for $269 now, which is still $20 more than the DJI Mic's going for, but I still think this is a better mic objectively, and we'll get onto that just now. You can also buy the DJI Mic and Lark Max in a 1 transmitter and 1 receiver configuration, but this means that you miss out on the charging case, which I think is honestly one of the best features about both of these microphones. So I wouldn't recommend buying that option. The Lark Max has a substantially better battery life than the DJI Mic, coming in at 7.5 hours for the transmitters and 9.5 hours for the receiver. Whereas the DJI Mic only has 5 and 5.5 hours respectively for the transmitters and the receiver. Both microphone charging cases charge each system 3 times, meaning that you get a total of 15 hours on the DJI Mic and 22 hours on the Hollyland Lark Max. The receivers on both microphones have bright OLED touchscreens, but the Hollyland also has the option of using a dial to navigate the menus, which is often more tactile in certain situations, especially when you're using gloves. So it's great to have this alternative option. The Lark Max has environmental noise cancellation, or ENC, whereas the DJI Mic doesn't have any kind of noise cancellation. Let's test out the ENC feature now. This is without ENC turned on, with a lot of like rustling noises around me. There's a lot of wind noise, so I'm wondering if it'll pick any of that up at the moment. But if I turn ENC on, so this is now with environmental noise cancellation turned on, and hopefully some of that rustling noise, some of the background noise around me should be a little bit more muted, and you should be able to pick up my voice a lot clearer. So this is the Hollyland Lark Max, and this is with environmental noise cancellation turned off. So you should probably be able to hear my voice pretty clearly, but you probably can still hear the waves around me and any other kind of environmental noise that is going on around me, like, you know, birds or people laughing in the background on the beach. So this is now with environmental noise cancellation turned on. And hopefully now the wave noise should be a little bit less intense, and noises around me, such as people speaking and, you know, just general environmental noise, should sound a little bit more muted, and you should be able to focus on my voice a little bit more because of that. From the tests, the thing I really like about this feature is how subtle it is. With other microphones that I've used before with similar features like this, they tend to make your voice sound a lot muddier as they cut out key vocal frequencies inadvertently when they're trying to cancel out the noise around you. Hollyland have clearly tuned this feature really well so that it cuts out a good amount of background noise to make a good difference, but without actually cutting out so much that it affects your vocal frequencies. The DJI Mic comes with a fabric carry case to allow you to store the charging case along with any accessories you need to use with the mic, whereas the Lark Max comes with an excellent hard carry case that allows you to protect the charging case as well as any accessories that you want to take with it, but it keeps them both separate, which is really important. I've experienced fabric carrying cases before, and because your microphone system and your accessories are both lumped in together, they end up scratching one another, and this just means that you're not left with a sense of confidence when you put that all into your bag. Whereas a case with separate compartments to protect each of these individually is really underrated in my opinion, and I really like this design choice from Hollyland. Both the DJI Mic and Lark Max transmitters can be clipped onto your clothing using the built-in clip, or alternatively they can be clipped onto any part of your clothing using the magnetic plates that are included in the box. However, the Hollyland also comes with two magnetic pendants that can be worn around the subject's neck and adjusted to the desired height. Theoretically, you could just wear this all the time and you'd always be ready to attach the mic to yourself and start recording. But this is just another thing that makes the Lark Max more versatile. The Lark Max is overall heavier than the DJI Mic, but my first impression of this product when I first took it out of the box is that it's really well made and feels very premium. The reassuring heft gives the impression that this is a really sturdy product that could take a few bumps and knocks over a long period of time. So apart from those key differences, there are some other points I want to highlight about the Lark Max. It has 3 recording modes: mono, stereo, and safety track. The mono and stereo modes are fairly self-explanatory, with the stereo mode splitting the audio from each transmitter onto the left and right channels. This means that you can then split those channels up in post and adjust the audio levels independently. Mono, on the other hand, merges the audio from both transmitters onto one track. The safety track mode can be used when you've only got one transmitter connected to your receiver, and it records in stereo, but with one of the channels being 6 decibels lower than the other. This is honestly a really nice feature because it gives you the safety of having a lower version of the recording for if your main version of the recording clips at any point. The Lark Max also has 3 EQ modes built in: Hi-Fi, Low Cut, and Vocal Boost. So let's test these out. Hi-Fi allows you to get the most detailed all-round audio and is probably best for the majority of situations. Low Cut allows you to filter out low frequencies that can be distracting in certain situations. And Vocal Boost focuses on the vocal frequencies, so your subject's voice should be more defined in any recording. To pull off any internal recordings that you've made with your transmitter, you have to connect each of these individually up to your computer, but then it is drag and drop. The only reason I make this sound like it's not perfect is because I really like Rode's implementation of this with the Wireless Pro, where you can connect the USB-C cable up to your charging case with the 2 transmitters connected, and you can pull files off both transmitters at once, which is a really cool implementation. Even though you've got a USB-C port on the charging case of the Lark Max, you can't use this to transfer files off. I've tried. One thing I'd recommend as a possible improvement for this microphone, and this goes for a lot of the competitors as well, is making it less easy to accidentally trigger the environmental noise cancellation or the recording button when you don't mean to. You can trigger these really easily with a quick single press of the relevant button on each transmitter, which can accidentally be done quite easily by when you're just connecting it onto your clothes or you're moving around with the transmitter in your hand. It'd be better, in my opinion, if you at least had the option to trigger these with a long press of the button instead, because this would vastly reduce the amount of times that you accidentally trigger this. This is maybe something that could be fixed with a firmware update. So now that we know pretty much everything there is to know about the Lark Max, you can see that there are quite a few ways that this is objectively better than the DJI Mic. Saying that, the DJI Mic is clearly a very good product too that a lot of people have chosen to use. But for me, it's the excellent build quality, the convenience, the reliable performance, and the really good audio quality that you can get out of the Lark Max, which make it such an easy product to recommend. I'm personally personally now actively using this as my main microphone system because I'm so impressed with what Hollyland has created with this microphone. Let me know down in the comments if you were considering buying the DJI Mic but are now considering this mic instead. I've put an affiliate link down in the description below for you if you do want to pick up this mic and support the channel at the same time at no extra cost to you. If you want some tips on the best setup for a content creator using a wireless mic like this to get the best sound quality, then I'd recommend you watch this video next. Otherwise, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure and I'll catch you all in the next video. Cheers.